All right, we have one hell of a story to talk about today, and that is the stock of Hasbro has been pretty stagnant for like the last 5 years, and a big investment firm is very pissed at this. They're not very happy with how Hasbro is going. They think Hasbro is actually grossly undervalued, thanks to the post to Magic the Gathering, and I guess to D&D as well. I guess D&D is doing well. So let's take a look at this. This was like one of the better threads I think I saw. So the current board has presided over a period of significant underperformance due to what appears to be its lack of focus on value creation. Under the current board, Hasbro shares have underperformed and traded at a sizable discount to intrinsic value. Despite phenomenal growth in Hasbro's Wizards of the Coast over the last 5 years, the company's stock price has significantly underperformed the broader market and its own benchmark over every relevant time frame. We attribute this underperformance to the board's exceptional poor capital allocation and deficient investor disclosure and communication. So like what they're talking about is the money that's being made through Wizards of the Coast isn't being properly reinvested. In stark contrast, we contend that Hasbro's peers demonstrate significantly more focus on shareholder returns, both in their communication with investors and underlying compensation structures. We believe that competitors' superior focus on value creation has been a part of blah 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 outperforming Hasbro. Shareholders should also be aware that none of the current board members have purchased shares of Hasbro over the last decade, which we believe is reflective of their poor alignment with shareholders. That's called skin in the game. So the owner, like the people running Hasbro, they don't own the stock. They're like, I don't want to buy this thing. This thing's gonna go nowhere, because we know it's gonna go nowhere because we run the damn place. So usually if you have interest in growing the company, you'll get paid in equity, you'll get paid in stock, because you have self-interest to create value for all the other shareholders. But if you don't have any interest at all, then you're just going to want to be paid in cash and get the hell out of there. You're not going to want to own any stock. You're going to buy other stocks. But for the last decade, no one's bought any Hasbro stock. That's really not good news. That is a sign that they don't care about the investors. Despite stock underperformance, the board has rewarded leadership with seemingly excessive compensation. So instead of growing the company, and paying out to the shareholders, they've been paying out to themselves. To add insult to injury, Hasbro directors pay themselves an average of $350,000 per year, significantly more than their peers at Mattel, despite lagging absolute and relative shareholder returns. We struggle to grasp why Hasbro spends more on total director compensation than Apple, the largest company in the world, with more than 50 times the revenue of Hasbro, not to mention an incredible track record of creating shareholder value. So they're like, why do you get paid more than Apple when you don't even make nearly as much money as Apple? Chris Big Cox only works for cash, not stock options. Apparently not. Well, they said the board, and I don't know. I mean, he's the CEO. I don't know if he's actually part of the board, because the board of directors is there to. I don't know the full definition of what they mean by board, but usually the board of directors is there to keep the CEO in check. I don't know how to check up Chris Cox and what he owns of Hasbro, but probably doesn't own anything. Hasbro has underperformed the S&P 500 by nearly 100% over the last 5 years, and by over 170% by the inception of the strategy in 2010. So Hasbro apparently had some brand blueprint strategy. They're going to stick to their brands. They're going to make money off their brands. And apparently it's been crap. Despite investing more than $5 billion of precious capital into Hasbro's consumer business, this segment has significantly underperformed Mattel over the last 4 years. Wizards of the Coast was slow to develop digital properties. That's interesting. They're like, you know what, Wizards of the Coast? You could have made something digital and much better like a long time ago, or maybe they were just blind to like how good Hearthstone was. They did revamp Magic the Gathering Online back in like I think 2013, but it was really, they were really slow to the ball game with Arena. They let Hearthstone stick around for like, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 years before they even made their own client. No, maybe way longer than that. Arena for us is very new. Hearthstone's been around since like 2012, 2000. I don't know how long Hearthstone has been around for a hot minute. Hearthstone has been around for a hot minute. So yeah, it's been slow to develop digital properties for its most important brands and allowed other competitors such as Activision Blizzard to take significant market share in digital trading card games. The company's own 2022 guidance indicates that the strategy is failing. Low to single-digit revenue and flat EBITDA are not the results that the brand blueprint strategy has promised to investors. This is interesting. I am today's years old when I found out that Hasbro owns the Power Rangers. Lack of financial discipline on major acquisitions. So, like, they could probably make a whole new TV show, and they could probably make their own TV show and create like products for the Power Rangers, but they're probably doing nothing with that. Inability to demonstrate success with internally developed derivative video games, Dark Alliance, Transformers, Earth Wars, Monopoly Towns. Poor cost control in the consumer business, evidenced by comparison of the company's results versus Mattel. So they're saying like, hey, Hasbro on the whole is a leaky ship. And okay, this was the most interesting one. Underinvestment in Hasbro's crown jewel IP, Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons. So what they're claiming is that Magic the Gathering is making this shitload of money, and that money should be put back into Magic the Gathering. It's being redistributed to the leaky ship of Hasbro and all their other intellectual properties, when really it should go straight back into Magic. You want the Pro Tour? It should go straight back into making a Pro Tour. You want big GPs? It should go straight back into making big GPs. You want a better arena economy? It should go right back into MTG Arena, make everybody happy. Should make everybody happy. Wherever people are pissed, make them happy. You got them. You have the money, Wizards of the Coast. You have the money. What else do we got here? Reinvest in Wizards core IP. In our view, prioritizing reinvestment in core franchises like Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons is key. We believe this will accelerate growth, improve the customer experience, and ultimately improve the dominance of the Wizards franchise. And remember, Hasbro is basically Wizards of the Coast at this point. They're the ones making all the money. No one else makes any money at Hasbro. None of the other properties do anything. Wizards has a powerful combination of secular growth and excellent margins, as return on income C, I don't know what the C is, as tailwinds. Realign compensation to performance. That's probably a good one. If elected to the boardroom, our nominees would look to restructure director and executive compensations. Compensation to that, a significant majority of compensation is tied to financial performance with heavy emphasis on total shareholder return. Leadership should not be rewarded when Hasbro shareholders suffer. So, what they want to do is they want to elect some directors. One of them being John Finkel. I don't know if that is the person I want on the board, but Altafox has a clear vision to help repair Hasbro's broken corporate structure, which is one of the many reasons I'm proud to be included as a director candidate on their slate, spinning out and reinvesting in Wizards core franchises such like Magic will only improve players' experience and help rebuild trust with the most passionate customers and fans. Because he is a big Magic player, but he's also a hedge fund manager. So he's like, he understands the financial side, but he's also a Magic player. So he'd like in theory, be looking out for Wizards' best interest. But, I mean, in my opinion, Finkel's a boomer. He is like a huge Magic boomer. He has said things like, Planeswalkers were a mistake, and I have a feeling he is the type of person... Well, maybe he will understand financially what is best for Wizards of the Coast. I mean, he's not designing the cards of the game anymore. But, like, he doesn't really want Magic to evolve, that's for sure. If it could go back to, like, Combo Winter a million years ago, that would be probably what he would love the most. These guys are trying to start a shareholder revolt because they don't have enough juice to replace the board. Probably. Chris Big Cox only works for cash, not stock options. Well, let's see what he does. Like, he just got elected as CEO. You know, a lot of people are blaming... They're also claiming Chris Cox is going to just continue the... What is it? The brand blueprint strategy of Hasbro for the next who knows how many years. That may not be true. I mean, they made him CEO of Hasbro for a reason, because he's done so well for Wizards of the Coast that he might... I mean, he just took the helm a few days ago. He just took the helm. So there might be some big changes for Hasbro as a whole. Like, I mean, the moment you might hear about anything, if they start reutilizing, you know, intellectual property like the Power Rangers, that's going to be a big deal. That's going to be a big deal. So, AltaFox wants to reinvest significantly into Arena and listen to customers. They know that we're angry, and they don't like that. They know that we're angry. Like the visual of John Finkel showing up to a boardroom meeting dressed up as a Shadow Mage infiltrator. As a Transformers fan and collector of some of the better figures are too scarce and prohibitively priced. Oh, that's interesting. But that's probably what they want to do. And honestly, if they went further in that direction, they would do that more. That's how they make money. They produce the figurine for like $2 and sell two for $100. Wizards of the Coast is propping Hasbro up when Toys R Us closed. That really hurt them. It did. I mean, old toy companies got really screwed. Did I just join Coffee and MTG in business stream? Yes. Yes, you have. Okay, what else do they say? Launch multiplayer functionality. Well, on Arena, that's like a weird thing to do. Reduce bugs. Launch. It actually sounds like the investors are Magic players, and they're just pissed themselves. Launch subscription offerings that are more cost-effective for customers and improve the experience. Improve transparency and offer a credible solution to the historic issue posed by alchemy. Like, why do investors know this much detail about Magic the Gathering? Improve social functionality, offering chat. You don't want to... Okay, now the investors are being a bit stupid. Chat is not good. I mean, unless I guess you're friends. If you're up against a random opponent, it has to be only emotes. Streaming, events, and other community-oriented services through Arena. Okay, I think they want chat just, like, for, like, if you're buddies with someone. Further integrate paper and digital MTG. Notification of physical events happening near you based on geolocation. That's interesting. And revival of competitive MTG through a carefully designed yet simple in-person and online tournament structure. Or a one-stop shop digital subscription and pay-as-you-go offering for a true physical to Dungeons and Dragons experience. Wow! Wow! Digital subscriptions. But why do they mention that for Dungeons and Dragons and not Magic the Gathering Arena? I imagine that should be just as good for MTG Arena. Yeah, right. The whole subscription and transparency are just a scam for people to pay for access to something they already have just to find out it's still rigged. But for MTG Arena, like I imagine that could really work on a subscription basis. Like you just have all the cards for $35 a month. Like I think everyone would do that. I don't know what the customer value of, I don't know what the value of each customer is, but I bet for $35 a month, a lot of people would be playing on Arena. Easily. Mr. DJ Longhair with the super chat. Good AM, Nikachu. Thanks for coming on last week. You're welcome. I really appreciated it. I had a lot of fun. I may show up again. Look, these hedge fund guys don't put a penny into anything without researching it to death. I guess so. They go deep. They go deep. Okay, so like here, so now the question is, cause this is not actually the whole story. They actually want to rip Wizards of the Coast away from Hasbro. They want it to be spun off. They like, okay, if you're not changing anything, then Wizards of the Coast needs to be its own company with its own share price, because this is just dumb. Why are we investing in Hasbro when really Hasbro is not what we want to be investing in, when it's actually Wizards of the Coast we want to invest in? So they need enough shareholder support in order to make that happen. I can't speak on if that's even going to be possible, if it's going to, like, what's going to happen there. But Wizards of the Coast would most definitely be an infinitely more profitable company than Hasbro would be. So this is the argument that they're making. They're making a big argument that Wizards of the Coast should be split from Hasbro in general. Arena with a subscription enabling all the cards, I will pay for sure. You see? We already have a customer. I think, I mean, it's not in this thread, but they calculated the average, in their opinion, the average value of a user on MTG Arena is like worth $150. So if it's worth $150, you definitely go over that with $35 a month. $35 a month, hard pass until they get some real formats on there. You get all the cards. I don't think you I don't think you fully gravitate the value of having all cards available to you on MTG Arena. I would also pay a subscription for a fair price, 150 to 200. I don't know what this currency is though. I would also pay depending on the price. It all depends on the price. And they could have a pay system like, hey, for standard, maybe $20 a month. If alchemy and alchemy and standard, $20 a month. For historic, you got to pay, I don't know, $40 a month or something like that. Anyway, very exciting news. So now there's like two wars. Is it a good thing that Wizards of the Coast is broken off, and basically the shareholders have more control over how Wizards of the Coast goes, or is it better that Wizards of the Coast stays under the control of Hasbro? I am inclined. I don't know. I don't know what is best, because on one hand, they want to invest way more in Wizards of the Coast, but they may also invest in gouging you for way more money. So you might get more for your money, but you also might be bleeding more money than you ever thought possible. Just as long as they pay players, still subsidize my free play-to-play, then I'm cool with the split. They probably would still have free-to-play stuff. I was looking into it. It's a really good strategy. I think MTG Arena's strategy so far is overall fine. Maybe it's not perfect, especially for the people who have to pay. But the fact that they make enough money that they can have a gigantic player base playing for free, I think is good for Arena. It's good for the player base. That was one of the downfalls of Artifact, is they just didn't have anyone playing the game, because then no one could play for free. I'm surprised this hasn't already happened. I didn't even know Wizards was owned by Hasbro until this show. Now you know that Wizards is owned by Hasbro. That's why they always said Big Pop Hasbro, always leaning over and making sure Wizards of the Coast making that money, telling Wizards of the Coast what to do. And now they really are telling them to make that money, because the other parts of Hasbro are not doing so well. And like, that's so stupid. Chris Cox should have all the bonuses, not all the executives at Hasbro. That's stupid. Will this investor revolt result in Mox Opal getting banned? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I imagine they are angry. They might be angry about it. They sound like Magic players. They sound like Magic players. I like the non-sub free-to-play model. I wax and wane with standard and will go whole seasons without playing, and then hit a season I enjoy and play incessantly. A sub model would keep me out of Arena. Why? You just sub when you want to go deep, and then you don't sub when you don't need to. You can cancel your subscription, just bring it back. I think it actually works very well for you. If you own the cards, you may own the card. you like buy the cards for only that season, but then like they're sitting dead for, especially if you're playing standard, they're sitting dead for like half a year, and then maybe a new set comes out and they're not even important anymore. One set SEK is so it's like 8. You said you were willing to pay 100. Okay, so what's 100 times 0.14? You're willing to pay $14, $14 to $20 a month. Corporate agreed. The original Umbrella Academy. I really hope this revolt goes through. Can get funds reinvested in MTG events. Doesn't have to be Pro Tour per se. Or we just see what Chris Cox does. Like, Chris Cox might reinvest back into Magic himself now that he runs Hasbro. So he's like, okay, well, why are we taking money from Wizards of the Coast when we can just make money from the other intellectual properties? Like, sure, it sounds like they got Power Rangers just sitting doing nothing, which is a very good brand. Did anyone watch Power Rangers as a kid? I think we all watched Power Rangers as, like, I mean, I watched Power Rangers as a kid. And the Green Ranger was that, like, the Green Ranger is here! He's blowing the flute! And the big dragons are coming out, the Megazords. Anyway, that was a long intro, wasn't it? Alright, welcome to Coffee and MTG. This is Nikachu, Merfolk Master, and also host of Coffee and MTG. And also, we got sponsors, FusionGamingOnline.com. Deal of the week this week, save 15% off all board games. My favorite board game is chess. Maybe you also would like to get... I don't know if they have... Do they have the Queen's Gambit? Queen's Gambit, the board game. No, they don't have it, but that would be hilarious if they did, because all it is chess and some really weird board game form. But you can get 15% off all board games at Fusion Gaming Online. That's the deal of the week. But don't forget, you can also get Kamigawa singles and sealed product at FusionGamingOnline.com. Don't forget to use coupon code Nikachu at checkout for 5% off all your purchases. And we're going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place to rent Magic cards online. Because when you rent, you can play more decks. You can play anything you want. If something's tier 1 one day, tier 2 the next day, okay, just send the tier 2 deck back. If that's not good enough for you, play tier 1 decks all the time. And that gives you a competitive edge over your opponents who are just buying the cards and stuck with their deck. You get to play the best, finest breakout archetype. Even if it's going to get banned in the next month, it's so powerful, you can rent it with Mana Traders. You can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 15% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu_ZKL. What do I think of the new Secret Lair? What's SLD? Secret Lair? Secret Lair D? Are these it? You're talking about this? Hold on, okay, we'll just answer some questions here. Is Power Rangers Secret Lair Bone Flute in our future? It's possible. On the D&D side, the poor reception of the 4th edition was predicted to be the death of D&T intellectual property. They managed to reclaim market and actually grow market dominance with 5e. See, it was the fallen empires of releases. Look, they can fix their mistakes. Any fringe decks that are a few cards away from being competitive? I don't... Like, we were talking about... Like, I think a lot of... For once, all the decks are accurately rated. Everything's pretty accurate here. Maybe Affinity? A lot of people are trying different types of Affinity decks right now. Affinity might be, like, one more... Either Affinity is missing a card, or Affinity is just misbuilt, and there is a winning formula for Affinity that people haven't cracked yet. That might be, because there's a lot of promise right now. A lot of people are building Affinity artifact-type decks, and getting a lot of success out of it. But nothing too hardcore, and not a lot of hardcore traction behind it. I bet Titan Shift is undervalued. I bet Titan Shift is an underrated deck right now. The fact that it's sitting at 0.6% means I bet it could be at 2%. What's the best replacement for Ragavan in a Murktide deck? Monastery Swiftspear. I haven't seen that card in so long that I forgot what it was called. Which I guess I'm happy. I'm more happy to see Dragon Rage Channel and Ragavan than Swiftspear. Swiftspear is actually harder for me to beat. I like Monopoly, especially if I own all the most expensive parcels and tax everyone into bankruptcy. I love being a swine in that game. I love their app. I love the Monopoly app for iOS. I feel like you can play on your phone or tablet. But they shut it down because everyone just thought that the computer was scamming them. Like, I've come to realize that no one understands statistics. This is like the biggest problem for our society, is that like 95, I don't know, maybe more of you will know because you have some comprehension of variance in Magic the Gathering, but still it's hard to internalize statistics. And the reviews for the Monopoly game app was just like, the computers are cheating all the time. They increase the difficulty because they give them all the good rolls, when they really, like, I had like a 99% win rate versus the computers on the hardest difficulty in their Monopoly app. So I enjoyed it because you just needed to know actual strategy. If you knew strategy, you could beat it all the time. Affinity is the sleeper. Prowess and Healy Company are one card or a ban away from being relevant again. They were kind of busto before Modern Horizons 2. What is up with Heliod, actually? Just even thinking about right now, I don't know why Heliod would be worth nothing, especially since they can play red creatures, right? Like, sorry, the pro red creatures that gain life. And there's a lot of red in the format right now. Again, it's possible that infinite life is not worth it online right now. Just built Bant Tezzerator with 3 Tezzeret, 2 Tameo, and went to Fairy with the Artifact Counterspell and 3 Farewell. The deck is sick. Especially Tameo and Tezzeret. Sweet. Oh, you're welcome, Kebby G. I don't think Delver is the best. No, Delver is probably not the best replacement. Delver is actually a pretty crappy card in Modern. It's not very good in Modern. It's hard to protect, hard to flip. It's got a lot of problems. What's up, Nikachu? Why did Merfolk disappear from the metagame? Are we really below 0.2%? Well, there's not enough of us going for them 5-0s. Not, you know what? Also, not enough of us playing Yorion versions of the deck. It's also another thing. Okay, we got more news. Okay, we got more news. I'm gonna quickly look at this. Look at these beautiful lands. These lands are gorgeous. Oh, the white one, the blue one, they're 10 out of 10s, and these other ones are also really nice. They're gorgeous lands. But guess what lands these are? Guess what cycle of lands they are? I was like looking at I mean, it's in Japanese. I'm looking at the abilities. I don't know anything that taps for a blue and that has a blue and activated ability. The Hideaway Lands. Big oof. Super big oof. Why do bad cards get the best art? Why does so much good art die on bad cards? Yeah, these are the Hideaway Lands. Now, truth be told, the Hideaway Lands actually see some play. The white one sees play, the blue one sees play. I think the red, green, and black one see no play whatsoever. So, maybe these will see modern. They did give the ones that see play the best arts. But, yeah, anyway, this would have been way cool. Oh, this would have been cool if this was an Oboro or a Manamo or something. Or what else? What's another legendary land? Yeah, they'll see a lot of play in EDH. They got a good pulse for what needs to be found on EDH. Oh! Speaking of EDH, the secret lair with Kira's hot. Oh, I forgot. I don't actually have that up. Secret lair spirits. I actually think it's ugly. What is it called? Spirits? I thought it was spirits. Secret lair Kira. Great glass spinner. Okay, I don't know the whole secret lair, but I know this is one of the cards. Oh, we're too close. Not close enough. Okay, you know what? This is fine. We can be close. Because this sort of looks like an ugly merfolk. I thought. It's like a Dr. Seuss merfolk with the little finny fingers. Kira Great Glass Spinner. This is going to be the new Kira. Honestly, I can't say it looks too alien to me. Good guys finish last equals bad cards gets the best art. The blue one is an all-star in Vintage Cube. Alright, I'll take your word for it. Vegan Economist loves this art. Loves the E.T. Kira. Yeah, no thanks. I don't, this is how I feel. I don't want the weird alien embryo. I mean, like, I guess it is, yeah, it looks like a merfolk fetus. They should errata Kira to be a merfolk spirit. That makes some sense. Yes, it does look like an embryo. Here's its, like, bubble that it's in. What do you think it would take for Healy Company to come back? Probably some big paper event where someone gets top 8 with it. I bet that would make it come back. I have a feeling people have just lost faith in Heliod. We need a Vial reprint in Secret Lair. We don't have enough Vial reprints. Dan likes the Kira art. Loves the merfolk fetus embryo. I mean, it will look good in a it will work out very nicely, I think, in a merfolk deck. It does look like a merfolk to me. It doesn't look like anything. I can't see anything else when I look at this. Vegan Economist loves the whole set. Kira, Hokori, Eidolon of the Great Revel, and Elvish Spirit Guide. Oh yes, okay, so where's the rest of them? Why is this so hard to find? Okay, here it is. We found it. Google does a hell of a job. Okay, so this is Kira. I think this is Eidolon of the Great Revel. So you can't really see anything going on here. I think the Elvish Spirit Guide, this looks great. I do think Elvish Spirit Guide looks great. That's a nice one. And what was the last one? I guess this is Hokori at the top right. Well, they don't have a big one. Oh, here we go. Hokori, Dusk Drinker. I don't even know this card exists. 4 mana for a 2/2. Lands don't untap during their controller's untap steps. They would print this at the beginning of each player's upkeep. That player untaps a land they control. That is such an unfun card to play. That is no fun at all. Who likes any of those taxing effects? They missed the Black Spirit? Well, they usually print command like these things in 4-ofs. Okay, here's a public service announcement. Pitiless Plunderer is $13, and it's an uncommon from Rivals of Ixalan. How many Pitiless Plunderers do you have? And are you today years old when you found out that this is $13? And it did not spike out of nowhere. It has slowly been climbing since its inception. Like, it's just slowly grows. And you might be asking, what the hell does this card do? It's like a black and 3 generic for a 1/4 human pirate. Whenever another creature you control dies, create a colorless treasure artifact token with tap, sacrifice this artifact, and add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. So this is like, this is a very, very, very expensive uncommon that might be sitting in your, like, bulk box from the days that you were drafting Rivals of Ixalan. Pulled a Plunder after Ixalan came out. It's a huge combo enabler. Well, even though something is a solid EDH staple, that doesn't justify it getting $13. Getting an uncommon this high in price is very hard to do. So I can only assume that Wizards of the Coast actually printed this at Rare. They do this, and Mark Rosewater has confirmed that they've been doing this for a very long time. This is what happened with Fatal Push. Fatal Push was, you know, its rarity symbol was uncommon, but it actually was printed at Rare. They made it rarer, and people who did mass box openings realized they were barely getting any Fatal Pushes because it wasn't actually uncommon, which is really weird. Why deceive people? I guess it may... Well, one thing it might do is if you know there's a chase uncommon like Fatal Push, you'd be like, well, why buy Fatal Push when I can just buy a box? And then I'll just open at least 4 Fatal Push when in reality you'd only open 1. it's not in the regular set. Is this... Other sets. This is the only printing of the card. Huh? It's not in the regular... This is in the regular set, no? Remember, Rivals of Ixalan wasn't opened enough due to no chase cards. I mean, that definitely can contribute to it as well. But still, $13? Look at the card Impact Tremors, USD. See, $3 is more reasonable to me. Impact Tremors. Oh, but this is a common. I see, I get it. Oh, but it's way older, too. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, Impact Tremors deals 1 damage to each opponent. What the hell? Whenever a creature... Oh, it's an enchantment. Oh, that's pretty good. Impact Tremors deals 1 damage to each opponent. That's a... That looks like it should have been uncommon. Like, that's just a good card. Do you think Pitiless Plunder and Veil of Summer being reprinted at rare, or will they nuke the value by reprinting in master sets? I don't... Like, well, here's the thing with Pitiless Plunder. I don't even know if they would reprint this card. Maybe they would reprint in a commander set or something. But like, it would never be reprinted in a master set. Or maybe it's like it's an okay draft card. It's a pretty good limited card. This might be contributing more. I mean, I don't know how well Rivals of Ixalan sold. So if it sold very poorly, then that might be contributing significantly to the value of Pitiless Plunderer. It was possible to open 3 to 4 Fatal Push in a box because it was uncommon. It was just also common to get 0 because it was equivalent of the uncommon 2 from back in the day. So it was like more rare than the average uncommon is what you're saying? Utopia Sprawl is a common reaching $10 sometimes, but that's like a modern... That's like the best... It's basically Noble Hierarch at this point. It's funny that... Magic has evolved. I'm surprised it actually took so long for Utopia Sprawl to get so much traction. I mean, it reached almost $20. That's crazy. You could have been sitting on a bunch of gold if you like had... Man, imagine selling like, I don't know, 30 of these because you had so many of them from that era. That'd been, you just cashed in big time. But Utopia Sprawl is like, it's the mana dork that you can't hit with most removal spells. It's just the mana dork you can't hit with most removal spells. Fatal Push was U2. Does that mean uncommon too? Also, Rivals had poor card quality? Come on, every set has poor card quality. Ashnod's Altar is uncommon and is around $12 to $15. Ashnod's Altar. This thing's also really old. Oh, but it's been printed millions of times. This is just a really popular commander card. Sack a creature! Add 2 colorless mana to your mana pool. Oh, yeah. It's basically Krark Clan Ironworks. It's basically Krark Clan Ironworks for creatures. Okay, so next we got the Secret Lair Street Fighter. It's out. Are you a fan of Street Fighter? I actually have no idea who any of these characters are. I was a Mortal Kombat fan. I know everything about Liu Kang and Scorpion and Sub-Zero and Goro. I don't know anything about Street Fighter, so you guys just have to appreciate this for what it is. Well, maybe we can open this in a new tab and we dive deep looking at these cards. We got Gil Sonic Soldier. Whenever, I'm assuming it's pronounced Guile, Soldier enters the battlefield or attacks, put a charge counter on him or remove one from him. When you remove a counter this way, choose one. Sonic Boom. He can deal 4 damage to any target, or gains lifelink and indestructible until end of turn. Both of them are a bit crappy. Zangief, the Red Cyclone, for 5 mana in the Jund colors. 7/4 creature, that's not too bad. Must be blocked if able. Well, that sucks. As long as it's your turn, Zangief has indestructible. That's good. When Zangief deals damage to a creature, if that creature was dealt excess damage this turn, that creature's controller sacrifices a non-creature, non-land permanent. Honda! The car? E-Honda Sumo Champion. For 6 mana, 0/7. Sumo Spirit ability. As long as it's your turn, each creature assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. That's going to be a popular one. There's all those people out there with those wall decks. They need another champion to their wall strategy, and it looks like they got the Honda. Honda Civic is on its way. Redmed says, hey Nikachu, saw your last video playing the Modern Challenge. Very epic games, especially the one against Azorius Control. Yes. I can't tell you how many times I've had these matches against Control where I spend like the first, I don't know, 20 minutes losing game 1, and then I win games 2 and 3 like super quickly. Sorry, spoiler alert. Ryu World Warrior for 3 mana. Okay, so this now is getting a little into the realm of something that might see play in Legacy. 2/4. Training, whenever this creature attacks with another creature with greater power, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Don't we have a mechanic like that, or did they just finally word it training? And Hadouken! So for a red and 4 generic, discard a card. Ryu World Warrior deals damage equal to his power to any target. If excess damage was dealt to a creature this way, draw a card. Interesting. Ken! Hey, wasn't there a song between Ryu and Ken? I think there was a song between the two. So double red and a generic 4/2 has prowess. It's a weird creature to have prowess, but sure. Ken gains first strike until end of turn. Whenever Ken deals combat damage, you may cast a sorcery spell from your hand with mana value less than or equal to the damage dealt without paying its mana cost. That's gonna be good in Commander. You just attack the person who has no creatures to block. Training is an actual mechanic now. Alrighty. Dal Sim, Pliable Pacifist. A 1/3. Oh god. Reach. Teleport. So this thing has hexproof unless it's attacking. Whenever a creature you control with reach attacks, untap it. It can't be blocked by creatures with greater power this combat. And Fierce Punch. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. Interesting, so any creatures. Nice. Chun-Li, Countless Kicks. 3 mana for a 3/3, has multi-kicker of the hybrid of white or blue. When Chun-Li enters the battlefield, exile up to X target instant cards from your graveyard, where X is the number of times Chun-Li was kicked. Put a kick counter on each of them. What? Sorry, put a kick counter on each. That doesn't make any sense to me. So I guess you're just putting a counter on Chun-Li for each card you exile. And Lightning Kick. Whenever Chun-Li attacks, copy each exile card you own with a kick counter on it. You may cast the copies. Oh, hold on. No, whenever Chun-Li attacks, copy each exiled card you own with a kick counter. Oh, you putting the counter on the cards that you exile from the graveyard. That is so weird. That is so weird. And then you can cast the cards later. Then Blanca, Ferocious Friend. 5 mana for a 5/5 haste creature. When a Ferocious Friend has trample, as long as you've cast 3 or more spells this turn. And Electric Thunder. Whenever Blanca... It sounds like they're just making up these mechanics just for these 1 cards. Whenever Blanca becomes the target of a spell, he gets 2/2/2 until end of turn and deals 2 damage to each opponent. Alright. Good God. I regret reading all that out. Any suggestions for any Neo cards to try in Legacy Merfolk going to another tournament tomorrow? Just the Otawara, but like Otawara probably isn't even good in Legacy because of the prevalence. It's probably good in the sideboard. Probably should have some Otawaras in the sideboard. It might be a decent card versus lands, maybe. It's hard to tell because like this card is a huge liability in a Wasteland format. But outside of that, I'm not thinking of any other cards. Talking about your last gameplay video, do you think good old Control Blue-White X decks have a comeback? Sure, they can. You can just play it. You just play it. Blue-White X Control has always been playable, always been good. Training is a Crimson Vow mechanic. You skipped E Honda's second ability. Oh, the 100-hand shop? Oh, the 100-hand slap! Whenever E Honda Sumo champion attacks up to 100 target creatures each get +0 plus X until end of turn, where X is the number of cards in your hand. What a weird ability. What is an area in Magic that you think is lacking content? Everything I'm doing, basically. Yeah, so I don't have any intention of talking about it because I'm gonna make the videos myself, but basically anything I'm doing on my main channel, no one's doing, or very, very few people are doing. One more thing in the news. We got a lot of news today. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. Okay, we've got TCG Player seller problems. I work for a store that sells on TCG Player, and we've been running into so many problems lately that I'm not sure if it's worth even selling on the platform anymore. The main problem plaguing our store is that TCG has been listing our cards well under the market price. TCG Player stores use a program called Mass Price to update prices regularly. It can be set to run every day, as we have set it to. It will go through all the cards and set them to whatever the market price is minus 10%. This has always been how it works. Recently, though, we've been noticing orders for random things because we were suddenly listed and sold for well under the price. I'm not talking about $1 or $2 here and there. I'm talking about selling a playset of Stoneforge Mystic for $18 each. What is Stoneforge Mystic right now? Stoneforge Mystic. Whoa! $50! That is money! Look at that. Stoneforge Mystic got as high as $74. That's crazy. And that's recent! That's half a year ago. People really want their Stoneforge Mystics. Oops. What am I doing? What's going on here? So, playset for $18 each. That's not a few cents low. So they're getting gouged here. I'm talking about selling a the UR Dragon for $20 and an Edgar Markov for $60. Edgar Markov sounds expensive to me. Am I just out of touch with what's going on today? Oh, good God! Whenever you cast another vampire spell, if Edgar Markov is in your command zone... Oh, God! It's this commander is stupid. They should just ban this thing. If Edgar Markov is in your command zone or on the battlefield, create a 1/1 black vampire creature token. Day 2 Dryden plays with this commander. I think it's just fucking ridiculous that you get value for something you haven't even cast. Why can't we have that with stuff in our hand? So long as I have this card in my hand and I reveal it, I get triggers off of it. Like, this is just stupid. Okay, I understand why this is $100. Makes a lot of sense to me. And on top of that, the cut that TCG Player takes, we are losing money. We contacted TCG Player about this issue several times and got nothing as a response back each time. We are ready to just give up and leave to go to Card Kingdom or Channel Fireball. We don't want to because TCG Player is the larger market, but if these problems persist, if they keep persisting, we might have to. Not sure if any other sellers have been having this issue. Just thought I'd get it out there that this has been happening to us. Oh well. TCG Player. Well, I mean, you could just turn off that thing, but then you have to, like... It's awkward because you got to constantly reprice your cards. Did you see the Secret Lair design website? All Secret Lair... I went there. We did see the Spirits one. So what is the best way to get into Modern? Would it be slowly buy staples based on a budget? I would say buy into one deck. Don't be expecting to play all the decks because it's like near damn impossible. Unless, like, if you're... I would say the only person... I mean, you could buy into everything slowly, but I would say buy into just one tier 1 deck first. And then if you want to grow your collection from there, go for it. But you'd just be better off getting into one deck immediately, start winning with it, enjoy it, and then slowly build your collection from there. And ideally, buy a deck that if something gets banned from it, like, the deck is still good. Like, for example, like Death Shadow, if something gets banned from it, all the cards are good. I think if they ban Omnath from the Blink deck, all the cards are good. Hammer Time is a bit of a risk. If they ban the Hammer, who knows where that deck is going. It might still be playable with Cranial Plating, but who knows? Murktide Region is pretty safe if they ban something from it. You could go to like Blue-Red Prowess, Amulet Titan. That's probably if they one day banned Primeval Titan, that probably all those cards turn to trash. Unless you go the Valakut route, then it would probably still be good. They'll never ban anything from Burn except Lurrus. Crashing Footfalls, I don't know. But anyway, you get the idea. Buy into a deck that's sort of ban-proof. There's 10 secret layers. Well, whatever. I'm not going through all the new secret layers. Unless there's one that's really notable. We were waiting for the Street Fighter one. Edgar is like the better version of Aloro Ageless Ascetic. Wow, we had so much news today. Incredible. Anyway, it's time for deck list review. So if you want your deck list reviewed on this channel, go into my description. There's a link to my Discord. Join the Discord. Go to the channel, deck list review. Enter the command, !review deck space. Give the URL to your deck list. You'll be eligible at random for deck list review. The new Boseiju or the old one? Secret Lair Street Fighter. I don't care. They got so many Street Fighters. Little Walker's Foil Edition. Oh, that's cute. Can you guys... Don't know if I can show you up close photo of the cute little... These are actually pretty cute. It's like that toy with the big head. Yeah, I know. I'm not describing it really well, but you probably already know what I'm talking about. Oh, and then they've got this new mana base, Shades Not Included, Foil Edition. I feel like this is a bad time for these lands because they're competing with the Kamigawa lands. But I think someone who would enjoy that would use it. Then we've got the, what's it called? The Hideaway Lands, foil and non-foil. Oh yeah, they've reprinted some of these other ones. Swords to Plowshares for the billionth time. More Astrology Lands. So it's the old Boseiju? Well, like, the old Boseiju barely sees play. I know, my internet sucks. And, like, even my phone freezes up on Wi-Fi. I gotta, like, switch to data all the time. So annoying. Okay, let's look at some deck lists. Deck list review. CX, I guess this is Cardinal. You got some sort of WasteNoodle deck. Okay, let's check out your WasteNoodle deck. You got Croxa, Lightning Skelemental. This is a weird WasteNoodle deck. Oh, you want to make some discard cards. Ragavan, Turok, Dread, Cantor, Burning Inquiry, 2 Inquisition, 4 Thoughtseize, 4 Unearth. I don't like Unearth. I never liked this card, you people. This Unearth is not a good card. I don't understand why people... Like, is the deck built around this? What is everyone's absolute fetish with this card? This card sees no play in Modern. None. And it's actually important to note that there were decks that tried to make this work. They started with 4, they moved to 3, they moved to 2, they moved to 1, now they go to 0. This card is just clunky. It's just Clunk City. It's a bad card. And I don't think the fact that you play with Lightning Scale... You know what would make Unearth good? Is if it had Flashback. Then we're talking. but it has cycling, which is useless. But if they make a flashback version of this, it would do great. Colligan's Command, Lightning Bolt. Okay, I need to know. Gotta be reminded what WasteNod does. A black and 1 generic. Whenever an opponent discards a creature card, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Whenever an opponent discards a land card, add black to your mana pool. Whenever an opponent discards a non-creature, non-land card, discard a card. Sorry, draw a card. So whenever an opponent discards a non-creature, non-land card, draw a card. So here's my problem. Okay, let's say you attack with Lightning Scale Elemental with WasteNod on the battlefield. So Lightning Scale Elemental deals damage. You get the mana, but you're still in your combat phase, and the moment you move to your first main phase, you're going to lose the mana. So that is... I mean, it's just something to think about. Something to think about. Unearth has been pretty good with Ragavan. Where? No one is playing Unearth. Unearth is... I would go as far to say Unearth is almost unplayable. I would go as far as to say this card is unplayable. I know it's funny. Unearth is turning into like the Bitter Blossom of Decklist review, because very early on in Decklist review we had so many decklists with Bitter Blossom. I'm like, you gotta take this card out. Like this is why this decklist needs help. I agree with Unearth here. I think we could go Thunderkin Awakener. The people have tried this. Like you're just going down a path that has been very well explored. Does Aspiring Spike play this thing? Lose Lightning Scale Elemental and add Luris? That is probably... I think the point of the deck is they want to play with Lightning Scale Elemental because it's such a hilarious card to play with. Honestly, probably the best move would be to do something like that. You would make a pretty clean deck by ripping out the Lightning Scale Elemental, adding Luris, and then playing 4 Kroxa, 4 Ragavan, and 2 more Turok. The problem is we're not using Luris. Yeah, abuse Luris. Get Kroxas out for days. You could keep Kroxing your opponent over and over again. That is one really good suggestion. I like that one. And also, I would take out Unearth. And oh no, well, Unearth actually works a little bit better with Luris, because it's hard to bring Luris back, and Luris is probably worth it. Because if you hit the Luris and get Luris back, then you can cast something else from your... If you have the mana, you can cast something else from your graveyard. And that's basically like a 2-for-1. Aspiring Spike played an Esper Mentor deck playing Unearth in it? I bet he was trying to appease the crowd. Honestly, okay, hold on. So let's look at... Whenever an opponent discards a creature card... Create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Whenever an opponent discards a land card, add double black to your mana pool. I think you want 2 more Inquisition in this deck, so you can force the opponent to discard what you want them to discard. Whenever opponent discards a non-creature, non-land card, because it'd be free. You would play WasteNod, Inquisition, take like a sorcery or something, or an instant, and then you just draw a card off of that. That's pretty good value. I think that's really, really nice. And of course, I like Colligan's Command, make them discard cards at their upkeep, and they basically can't play anything. Not a fan of WasteNod. I think WasteNod is cool. I like WasteNod. I think this is an underappreciated, underutilized card. You know what someone should make? A blue-black WasteNod deck, where there's got to be some sort of Wheel of Fortune in the format, isn't there? But probably it's really hard to cast. It just hurts when they're empty-handed. Right. That's why we have Colligan's Command. And we have... No, Unearth cannot resurrect anything at instant speed. No, I totally understand. I totally can relate to that. I can totally relate to that. But you can... WasteNod pops the fuck off. I submitted a WasteNod wheel deck that you reviewed. Yeah, we have WasteNod them up. It's a good card in 8-rack. That's interesting. WasteNod in an 8-rack deck. That is very interesting because you get the best of both worlds. That is probably worth being a 1 of or a 2 of in an 8-rack deck. Keep probably. Okay, well, you can leave the deck as it is, but you probably would take this deck to another level by removing the Lightning Skelemental, adding all the Croxes, Ragavans, Tarash. Take out 2 Unearth, because this is a clunky card. Add 2 more Inquisition. I think that'd be good to go. I mean, if you did have the Lurrus, you could play, maybe you could take out the other 2 Unearth and then play 2 more Mishra's Baubles, and then that would be really consistent. And then basically you'd have like a black-red... You just have like a black-red deck with like WasteNoodle. Oh, by the way, Burning Inquiry does force them to draw cards. So each player, even if they're empty-handed, each player draws 3 cards and discards 3 cards at random. So that has synergy with WasteNoodle. It's a good one. And that should work actually with everything else in the hand. That's nice. Burning Inquiry is a good one. Hey, Nikachu, what do you think about a modern Saga Tribal? It sounds insane. If you can make the deck and make it work. Basically a Faithful Mending, a Monster Mentor, then unearth him for black and then go nuts. Sounds like Aspiring Spike was going fancy there. Anyway, thank you very much for the deck list. Okay, we'll quickly do another one. Quickly. You know, originally I wanted this show be done in like an hour. And I've been looking at the time codes for Coffee and MTG, and I'm always way over an hour. Oh, you gotta be shitting me. You gotta be kidding me. A second Unearth deck? A second Unearth deck. Well, you already know my opinion about Unearth from the last deck list. Is this the deck? Is this the, Is this, Aspiring Spike's Mentor deck? Aspiring Spike, Monastery Mentor. Is Monastery Mentor broken? It's Unearth Friday. It's like that sometimes. Stupid ads. Alright, pause. Is this the same deck list? Just out of curiosity. Well, this one plays with Prismatic Ending. Spike, I can't read your deck. This one has Archmage's Charm. Does this one have Archmage's Charm? It does. 4 Archmage's Charms. Did this have... No, this one... So I guess this is like a budget version or something. It's playing similar stuff, but not the same stuff. Did you play Search for Azcanta? No. Search for Azcanta is sort of like an old boomer card. You might as well have the 4th Mishra's Bauble than the Search for Azcanta here. It's better than Bitter Blossom Fridays. And truth be told, whoops, I haven't seen a Bitter Blossom in a long time. I guess I shamed everyone out of playing Bitter Blossom anymore. Yeah, get the Search for Azcanta out of here. Just play another Mishra's Bauble. You're playing Gifts Ungiven. What for? Do you have anything you can play from? Just Faithful Mending? Is it like just like a weird tutor? Ugh, this Unearth. So wait, he played Unearth? He played 3 Unearths. I still don't believe in the card. I think it's a very fancy card. Dorothea, Vengeful Victim. Whenever it attacks or blocks, sacrifice it at end of combat and disturb. You may cast this card from your graveyard, transform it for the disturb cost. Whenever it attacks or blocks, sacrifice it at end of turn. So you can gifts for Dorothea and then put it in play and just sits there as a wall. This is not a good card. Was that in here? This is not a good card. Like, this just does nothing. Remember, if you attack with it or block, you have to sack it. So I don't really believe in this card. You can play a 4th Snapcaster Mage. So okay, so what it looks like is that the odd cards out are... Like, everything else is fine. You should probably have a 4th Faithful Mending. You should get rid of the gifts. Have another Faithful Mending. Get rid of the Search for Azcanta. Have another Mishra's Bauble. Get rid of the Dorothea, have another Snapcaster Mage. because this card makes no sense to me at all. Oh, what's the transform side? Oh, there's a transform side. Let's go check out the transform side. Maybe this is the point. Oh, this is the Geist of St. Traft. No, still don't believe in it. This is too much work. You may cast this card from your graveyard. You need to have a creature on the battlefield for this. Still a little too fancy for me. Oops, hold on. No, actually, go back. Yeah, you have to enchant a creature. And the creature doesn't even get hexproof. So basically, it turns the creature into a Geist of St. Traft. I think that's it, though. I mean, you know, you just take out the janky cards and play more of the good cards that you're already playing. And this sideboard is solid. Thing in the Ice is a bit weird, but do you have enough? Thing in the Ice. Are you triggered by? Thing in the Ice. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, so you do not get triggered off of Mishra's Bauble, Path Exile, and I think you should probably remove 1 Unearth, 4 Unearth. So you, oh no, you have 3 Unearth. Okay, 3 is way better than 4. I actually don't know if you can flip this Thing in the Ice in your deck. Did he play it? No, he didn't play it. You don't actually have that many instants and sorceries. You're gonna struggle. You're gonna struggle to flip this Thing in the Ice. Oh no, sorry. You have sorceries. You have enough sorceries. Okay, this isn't bad. Okay, I think you have enough to justify this. Little Esper Mentor and an Unearthed Shell using Consider and Faithful Mending to fuel the graveyard. Lurrus in the main board. Oh, Lurrus is in the main board. I didn't even notice that. Oh yeah, it can be. Well, okay, whatever. Lurrus in the main board is fine. No, there is Prismatic Ending. We have Prismatic Ending. It's just how Tapped Out does it. How they order everything. Well, Esper Charm is okay. I mean, I have nothing against Esper Charm. Like, it's a counter spell. But okay, yeah, that's it. Just take out the janky cards, these janky one-ofs. You know it's jank because you only have one of them in your deck. Like, this depends way too much on a creature, but let's be serious. If you have Monastery Mentor out, you're not going to be playing the Disturb on Dorothea. You're going to be you don't want to chain out a bunch of spells to max out on value there. And I mean, you know my opinions on Unearth, but if you really want to play it, then sure, keep it in the deck. Take out the gifts for search, and take out gifts for Amishra's Bauble. Take out search for his Kanta for maybe another Faithful Mending. And I think that's all good. Consider over Opt in this deck? We have Consider already. Yeah, we want to put cards in the graveyard. We do have something like Lurrus in this deck. So, you know, filling up the graveyard is... And we have Snapcaster Mage. So putting cards in the graveyard is valuable to us. Yeah, I agree. I agree, Dan. Fourth Faithful Mending in this build and need more cheap spells like Opt. Well, I don't know if we need more cheap spells like Opt. I mean, you could take Opt over, say, Unearth, or maybe instead of Unearth, more Thoughtseizes. Thoughtseize is a really good card in this deck. I don't mind the one of Esper Charm. It should be an Archmage's Charm, but Esper Charm's not that bad either. It's not terrible. Why the dress downs in the side? It's an excellent way to deal with Urza Saga, because they make 2 constructs and then poof, all gone. Okay, everyone wish Aztec Guy luck tomorrow. Gonna bring it home. The win with Merfolk. I'll update you all on Monday. Oh yeah, it's Friday, so we're gonna clear the queue. Clear queue. All right, so if you submit Decklist between now or from now to the end of Friday next week, they'll all be eligible. All right, that's going to be it for Coffee and MTG. Thanks for joining me today. We had a great conversation. I hope you enjoyed the news. Let me know how much you love the news segments. I try to fill it up with as much news as possible, but usually I'm not on the ball with that much news. As usual, we do this Monday to Friday, 9 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. Be there or be square. If you love the channel, you want to support in any way you can. You can do it with money by subbing to twitch.tv/NikachuMTG. You can become a patron at patreon.com/NikachuMTG, or you can hit the join button on YouTube, as some people have done. So thanks for joining me. Good luck in all your tournaments. Good luck in all your Kamigawa, events. Should be a really exciting weekend. And keep brewing up those coffees, and we will keep brewing up the magic. Take care, and I will see you all.